Welcome back, everybody, to this final bonus episode of 2021. Wow. It has been a roller coaster. So, as a special treat for all of you, you know how much we have enjoyed Eugene Peterson's translation, paraphrase of the Bible called The Message.
We learned all about him last week.
His art really is what I would call it.
It is very artistic, yeah.
And we learned about him, and we learned that he wrote a book called The Christmas Troll, sometimes God's best gifts are the most unexpected.
Oh.
So, for this bonus, we're going to have a little story time. A little story time with friends of Eugene Peterson's The Christmas Troll. I will be playing the role of Dad reading a Christmas story, a slightly spooky Christmas story.
Oh.
Goodness.
I mean, it's a Christmas troll, right? So I imagine it's going to be a little bit scary.
Trolls
I've
are a
only
little
skimmed
scary.
it. I haven't read the story yet. And then Dedeker and Emily will be playing the role of the sort of Greek chorus / children listening to the story / maybe a little bit of Foley sound as we go, some sound effects as appropriate. So we'll see how it goes. So to get us started here, let me just start a nice fire in the fireplace here. Get us in the mood. Oh, yeah. Gather around, kids.
Wow, that's a warm, beautiful fire, Dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love it.
Thanks, little M. I imagine parents refer to all their children as little something, right?
Sure, I don't know.
Kind of like Tiny Tim.
Like Tiny Tim. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Tiny M. God bless us, everyone. Okay. The Christmas Troll by Eugene H. Peterson. It was Christmas Eve, and Andrew was angry.
Aw.
Very angry.
Oh, Andrew.
His parents call him Angry Andrew.
Yeah. Jeez.
He hunched his shoulders and scowled the way angry people do in the TV cartoons. He decided to run away from home.
Wow.
He grabbed the hand of his little sister. "Come on, Lindsay," he said, and they headed for the woods.
Lil Lindsay. Angry Andrew and Lil Lindsay. What a pair.
Yeah.
The woods were dark and frightening, and Andrew was forbidden to go there alone. But he had Lindsay with him, so he wasn't actually alone. Lindsay had saucer eyes and thought everything he did was wonderful.
Oh.
She didn't mind that Andrew was angry because she knew they were on another adventure.
Oh.
Andrew was nearly grown up. He was 6 years old.
Whoa.
Jeez.
Okay. These are very tiny babies.
Yeah.
How old are we? How old is little M and little Dee Dee?
That's a good one.
I think you have
4 or 5?
Are we also 6 years old?
You have to develop your characters, yeah.
Yeah. I always thought 12 was grown up, so 6 being grown up is like, okay. It's little Andrew.
He was 6 years old and was always taking her on adventures. The forest started at the end of their street. There was just enough light from Andrew's lantern to show them where the trail entered the trees.
Sorry. Is this 1860? He's bringing a lantern along.
I'm imagining it's an electric lantern, but it is one. There's pictures, and he is kind of hanging onto it by it's like an old-timey lantern.
Okay.
Cute.
Just trying to get a sense of time and place here, Dad.
Yeah. So there are illustrations, and based on their clothing, these kids seem to be in the 90s / early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
That makes
But
sense.
he does have a lantern like the hangy kind that you have the
Just for
oil
fun.
lamp in. So
For a good time.
for fun,
Yeah.
for ambiance, for the adventure. Yeah. There was just enough light from Andrew's lantern to show them where the trail entered the trees. Sometimes, on Saturday afternoon, their parents would take them on tramps through the woods. Andrew and Lindsay would run ahead and hide behind fallen logs or big rocks and then jump out and scare their parents. Their father scared best. He would throw up his arms and yell and try to climb a tree.
Oh!
Good. Then he would grab them and toss them up in the air, and they would all laugh together. But they had never been here in the dark before. The huge trees were taller and thicker than they'd ever seen them. Andrew couldn't tell whether the dark shadows were fallen trees and boulders or crouching bears and hulking trolls.
Oh, okay. So trolls are already part of our worldview
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
He began to get scared. But then he felt Lindsay's hand in his and became brave again. At least brave enough to go on a little farther. And then he remembered how angry he was and that he was running away from home, and that made him even braver.
Wow.
Besides, he wasn't sure there really were trolls in the woods. It was Jonathan who had told him about trolls, but Jonathan lied a lot.
Everyone hates Jonathan. Good old Junior
Jeez,
Jonathan,
he
the
lies?
liar.
Yeah. Freaking liar.
Jonathan lived next door and was a bully.
Oh, and
He
a
was
bully?
always
Jeez.
The worst.
He was always making up stories to try to scare Andrew.
Jeez.
No, he wasn't at all sure about trolls. Jonathan said that trolls were ugly and mean. They had big bellies and bottoms balanced over stubby legs. Toes grew out of both ends of their feet, 6 in front and 6 in back.
Ugh.
Wow.
So if you saw their tracks in the mud or snow, you couldn't tell whether they were coming or going.
You'd be like, what the heck is that?
And their faces were put together any which way. A troll might have a nose on each side of its head and an ear in the middle of its face, or eyes in its chin and a mouth grinning horribly out of the back of its head. But mostly, Andrew didn't believe Jonathan. And anyway, right now he was too angry to worry over trolls. All Andrew had wanted to do was open one Christmas present from under the tree, and his mother wouldn't let him. By now, Jonathan had opened nearly all his presents.
Wow.
Jonathan had started begging weeks ago, and his parents always gave in. All Andrew had wanted was to open one present on Christmas Eve. Just one.
I used to be able to, I was allowed to do that. Were y'all not?
Yeah, so was I. I was allowed one present.
Yeah.
Later in life, we did one present because my stepdad's family did Christmas Eve and mom's family did Christmas Day. So we would kind of
Do you
use
think
that.
Eugene's leaning into what I see as a very conservative evangelical thing about some commentary about parenting styles, perhaps?
It seemed with the Jonathan's parents giving in, I
Ah.
think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. He knew he couldn't wait until morning to see what he'd get. Not only had his mother refused, but when he wouldn't quit asking, she had sent him from the supper table before he could finish his dessert. His favorite Christmas dessert of baked apple with cinnamon and honey on it.
It is the 1860s.
Okay, yes.
Such a tasty dessert.
Somehow they've gotten close from the
Yeah.
90s, but
He then tried begging his father. Please, just one present. I can't wait to see what I'm getting. But he got no further with his father. Gifts are for giving and receiving, his father had said. Not,
his father, Gandalf, said.
not for grabbing and getting. Waiting until morning will be good for you. Christmas was ruined. He hated Christmas. He was glad to be running away.
Wow. Chill, bro.
It felt good to leave. When his mother and father found out that he had run away, they would be sorry.
Yeah.
Andrew and Lindsay were deep in the woods now. The trees were bigger than ever. The bushes and boulders blacker than ever. Andrew wondered how much farther they had to go to run away. Really run away. He hoped not too much farther. He looked down at Lindsay, her hand holding tightly to his. Do you think we ought to rest, Lindsay? Let's find a log to sit on and take a rest. He wished he had thought to bring some food. A few cookies or nuts or an apple. His mother always remembered to bring food when they tramped through the woods. He saw a log just the right size for sitting, and they sat down on it, and they sank into the soft, cushioning moss of the log. Andrew thought it was the softest log he had ever sat on and began to feel safe and protected by the softness.
Oh.
Just then, there was a long, low rumble like far-off thunder, except the sound was under them. In a few moments, the thunder beneath them became a stuttering, gravelly voice. Who's sitting on my belly.
Oh.
Andrew had never been so frightened. He was sitting on a troll.
Whoa.
Oh, no.
He ran for his life. He forgot all about Lindsay and ran straight
Oh,
off.
jeez. Good job, Andrew. Good older brother skills.
Wow.
And ran straight off the trail into the darkness. He tripped on a root, hit his head on a tree, and fell, crumpled into a clump of ferns.
Gosh.
Ow.
He wanted to cry, but was afraid to make any noise. He hoped the ferns would hide him from the troll. Suddenly, he remembered Lindsay, left behind on the huge mossy belly of the troll. What was happening to her? Now, he was twice scared for Lindsay as well as himself. Would the troll by now have put Lindsay in a cage, cut off all her hair, and put a ring in her nose?
Whoa, that's a very specific
What?
lore about what trolls do to you that I was not expecting.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, put a ring in your nose. Don't let that happen.
So they just make you kind of punk and hipstery is what happens when a troll captures
Apparently.
you. That is a nightmare for the evangelicals, I will say.
Well,
Oh, goodness.
that's what Jonathan said trolls did to lost children.
Oh, okay. Well, we all know how we feel about Jonathan.
Kept them as pets, the way we have dogs and cats. But Andrew was too scared to go back. After what seemed like a long, long time, Andrew heard her voice, faint and sweet, calling him through the darkness. Drew, Drew, it's okay.
Oh.
The troll is ugly, but nice.
Hey, he's right there, Lindsay. Come on.
Jeez. We have to end the story here for copyright reasons to read the whole book to you on our public podcast. But if you would like to check out a little bit more of the story and support our show, go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy, where we will have a longer version of this bonus episode there for you. And we would also really appreciate your support. And when we come back in the new year, we will give you a toast on the show. So we hope you join us for that. We're really looking forward to it.